TR showed it. We are. Okay, so handset devices in Taiwan total 120,000 units. 30% contributed from pen-based PDAs. 70% for converged devices. And if you can see here that these are the operating systems and the models that are being distributed in Taiwan. Dopod manufactures in China under CECT, and Dopod also produces cells in Taiwan under the HTC name. But it is HTC. Dopod is HTC, at least for the branding purposes. Smartphones. If you know how to make them smart, what does that mean? Well, okay, I know people who bought their smartphones. They've never downloaded an application. Not one. They buy the smartphone and there it rests just using voice-centered calls. Very rarely will they surf the web. That's because on a very, very small device, it isn't such an interesting user experience on a small device to surf the web. This is China's 3G migration landscape. So everyone knows that it's going to 3G. We all know that. When? Q3? Perhaps. Probably. These are some of the possibilities that I see happening. Now, they haven't released them, so I still get to make a prediction, right? Here's my prediction, possibilities anyway. China wants 3G networks operating by 2008. We know that. They want to take advantage of all the revenue. We know that they like to use their TD-SCDMA protocol. We know that. We also know that China Mobile has said, you know what? I'm going with WCDMA. I've got millions and billions of dollars invested. And your TD-SCDMA, sorry. And China Unicom has said, well, I've invested a lot in this Qualcomm CDMA 2000 1X RTT. And that's the one that I'm going with. And they have been vocal, much more vocal, as of recent to the Chinese government, saying, let's let the market decide. Unfortunately, in China, no. The market will not decide. The Chinese government will decide. Generally speaking, TD-SCDMA technology, it might be used to support the two existing systems. A more likely scenario is that China Telecom and China Netcom will adopt either one or two of these networks. More likely scenario. Also, more likely scenario is you'll see WCDMA and TD-SCDMA dual mode handsets, or maybe tri-mode handsets. Possibly. If China delays deploying 3G much longer, India will deploy before China. Oh, that's a big face loss. That's a big face loss. China Mobile has already jumped ahead. They've been testing unlicensed 3G networks already. This is how they did it with CDMA technology about 5, 6, 7 years ago. They already had a network in China before it was sanctioned by the Chinese government to use Qualcomm's networks. They had already been operating it unlicensed. So they're not going to wait till the last second. Chinese government said, hey, don't jump the gun. Don't jump the gun. So you can see they're chomping at the bit, the carriers, to earn revenue on these 3G networks. People are dying for them. So here's China's handset initiatives for 3G as I look at it. These brands, they've fallen far behind the leading players. So actually last year a bunch of Chinese handset vendors kind of did the Deep 6. And more this year will do the Deep 6 too. They simply will not be able to compete with existing 3G devices out there by Nokia, Motorola, and Samsung. And there's a few other players. They've been slower to market these new products, and they possess very, very weak R&D, extremely weak R&D. This is why you find the stronger companies going to North America on the west coast of the United States, from Seattle to San Diego, and they put their offices there. Why? To tap the R&D excellence and to tap the 802.11 technologies that are proliferating